But, what we find absolutely startling is to see the level that the public anger has reached, that they are now burning down residences of government officials, of ministers. Professor Asanga, where do you stand on this issue? The fact that the crisis clearly is peaking at the moment. We were earlier talking about the economic crisis, the food shortage, the sufferings of the people on one hand. Now there is also, to top it and to make it worse, is a political crisis. PM Rajapaksa, after much reluctance, has stepped down. But how do you see the nation emerging from this crisis, Professor?
It's a serious crisis. It's gone out of control. Iqbal just mentioned clearly, what happened was they used thugs, they used to attack the symbolic place where they were protesting. It was a symbolic place of demonstration. It was peaceful protests now turned to aggravated towards violence.
Yes.
And so it's gone out of proportion. The problem is that they don't understand the pain of the people. A packet of milk powder is about, now it's costing so much, about 4 or 5 times more. I just spoke to one of the protesters. They are hungry. They had only one meal a day. They can't afford. The gas is about 4,500 rupees. It used to be 1,500. There is a serious crisis in the country. It's going towards a humanitarian crisis. It is a humanitarian crisis right now because they're hungry. They have only one meal, and they can't afford the food. So with this, what the Prime Minister, before his resignation, what he did was, sending all these people to, towards the protest site, the symbolic place where they were talking about a re-democratization, of the country. And it was very peaceful. The protests were very peaceful, but then it turned to violence. So it's completely anarchic situation right now in Sri Lanka.
We also need to understand, and Mr. Atsas, I would like to come to you on this, that, do you think that some solution should emerge politically first? The president has been offering this formula of a joint sort of a governance with members of the opposition. That sort of configuration doesn't seem to be working out, does it?
Well, it appears as if that particular issue is now going out of the reach of the president. And the reason is particularly yesterday's incident. And the chain reaction it set off has also made the participants who want to be a party to an interim government think twice about it. And now today they were meeting because there is an important meeting with the president tomorrow with all of them. And most of them expressed the view that the only way out of this situation is for the president to step down. But the question is whether he would do so. And one also has to bear in mind that apart from what Professor Abeyagoonasekera said now, there are other issues. The problems are yet to get worsened. Like, for example, take the supply of fuel. At the moment, they are still enjoying the largesse of the government of India. Supplies are coming in, although there are interruptions in the electricity and so on. But there is going to be a time sooner than later when all this is going to run dry. And that is going to push the people into anarchic levels.
Let's play out for our viewers the kind of statements that we have from the top leadership. And there on your screens right now is the tweet by Gotabaya Rajapaksa, who says, "I appeal and urge people to remain calm and stop violence and acts of revenge against citizens, irrespective of political affiliations. All efforts will be made to restore political stability through consensus within constitutional mandate and to resolve economic crisis." Professor Asanga, along with this, now we have also heard that there is an attempt to reconvene Parliament. Here is a nation now currently without any government in place. Now that could only make matters worse, isn't it? Is there a possibility that the Parliament can reconvene before the designated date of 17th May? What are the possibilities that you see, sir?
Immediately, they need to have an interim government in place because Sri Lanka is going through an economic crisis. It needs these institutions. It needs to function the ministries. So interim government is the only way that for immediate solution. People are hungry. They will get more. I would get agitated. if the crisis keeps on going like this in the villages in different parts of the so it will be completely out of control, where military would have to come in. I mean, the Gotabaya, with his background, so my concern is that whether he is waiting for that moment. But like Mr. Atta said, the first criteria, I mean, what the protesters want is president to step down. They don't want to see any Rajapaksas. They are corrupt. I mean, every interview I've conducted, they said they are corrupt. They are done. Basically, we don't want the Rajapaksas. So interim government, opposition, as well as the other parties getting together, immediately functioning the government. That's really important, because you don't have a government. You need to have an interim government to function the institutions.